What's up, Bladers? It's Ascalon here from Spin Finish. I hope you're all doing well and are having a great day. As you can tell by my camera angled point blank at this rather gorgeous looking Beyblade box, I'm going to be doing an unboxing video today. And as you can see, the Beyblade we'll be unboxing today is none other than the very spicy looking Dran Brave. Now, I'm a massive fan of all the previous Dran and Cobalt Bays, so you just know I've been counting down the days for this release, but I'm going to have to endure just a second longer so that we can have a good look at the box before we tear straight into it. You can see this gorgeous looking graphic of Dran Brave on the front here, detailing that he comes as the Beyblade itself and the launcher. Then on the back side you can see this great image here, detailing the parts that he comes with. We get the Dran Brave blade, we get the 660 ratchet, and we get the brand new bit Vortex. 660 is also a brand new ratchet as well, and of course Dran Brave itself is a brand new blade, being part of the very brand new CX line, which we'll talk about a wee bit later. You can also see on the back here we've got this very cool looking graphic of Ekisu Kuroso, or Jackson Cross as he's known here in the West. We also have this fantastic looking graphic of the Dran Brave blade itself, detailing how the blade's supposed to go through the air and create downforce to raise its upper attack. I'm assuming that's what the graphic details anyway. I don't speak Japanese, but I'm guessing based on the way that the graphic is detailed. You can also see here on the side it details what the Dran Brave blade is comprised of, rather. It's got the new Dran lock chip, the Brave blade itself, and then the new assist blade Slash, which is again a new component that's brought about by the new CX system. Really loving this new pink and white they're going with for the CX system. We had the white and green for the basic line, the BX system, and then we had the lovely yellow, kind of orange and white for the UX line. I think pink's my favourite out of the three that we've had so far, so it looks really, really nice. So here we have 3 packets that you've got inside the box itself. Dran Brave itself inside this new packaging that they seem to be using for the CX line releases. I don't know if it's just made of a slightly more recycled material or something, but it noticeably has these tearaway parts now instead of the usual just poly bags. We've got the launcher, and then we've got the ripcord itself. So now that we've freed him from his plastic and cardboard prison, it's time to have a closer look at exactly what you get out the box when you buy Dran Brave. The first point we'll talk about is the launcher. Dran Brave comes packaged with your standard Beyblade X right spin winder launcher. Nothing fancy, just a black and white right spin winder launcher. Comes packaged with this nice white ripcord as well, which is nice to see. Love black and white, goes with anything. The only other thing I'll further say from this is that these new CX launchers, as people seem to be reporting online, seem to be a slight retool on the previously released ones. Everyone seems to be saying that they perform a wee bit better and they just seem to be overall a wee bit smoother. So that's good to know. It's good to have better quality stuff. You can never say no to that. So now that we've covered the exciting bit, we'll move on to the real meat of the matter, which is Dran Brave himself. So as mentioned in the box overview, Dran Brave comes with these three, well technically 3 here, but it's actually 5 pieces, which we'll get into in a moment. You have the Dran Brave blade itself, the 660 ratchet, and the Vortex bit. So the first bit we'll talk about is the blade. So Dran Brave is the first of the brand new released CX line. The CX line stands for Custom Line and is a new line of Beyblades that have just released just a short while ago in Japan. They are made of 5 component parts instead of the previous 3 parts that both BX and the UX line are comprised of. The difference there is that both BX and UX blades are just 1 component, whereas with CX they're actually 3 components. So you can see here you've got the lock chip, the blade, and the new assist blade. So if I take the bit, you can unlock the full blade here, and this will actually separate it into these 3 component parts which I was just talking about. So you can see the lock chip separately the blade separate and the assist blade. So the assist blade seems to be made of some sort of polycarbonate plastic. All of them are, at the moment anyway, made of this kind of polycarbonate plastic. The blade is still metal, but it's a little bit less dense because of the existence of the assist blade, and it has this nice recessed plastic here with all the lovely graphics on it as well. And then you've got the lock chip, which is also just made of plastic, at the moment anyway. It'd be interesting to see if in the future, if they follow Metal Fight's fashion and eventually make metal ones of these or add metal components to these. That would be really interesting. It also might be something that they might need to do at some point, because the early reports of the performance of this line have kind of showcased that it's not doing too well, just with the, you know, the height of them and the way that the blades connect with the existence of the BX line and the UX line. They're just so tall, that's the only thing. And a lot of people have been showcasing that the plastic's been getting quite stressed, but I mean, that's to be expected with Beyblade. It's sharp metal bouncing off one another. It's gonna happen. As long as you have fun with your Beyblade, that's the main thing, really. The main purpose of this, having the separate parts, is to introduce further layers of customization to Beyblade, which is going to be super exciting going forward. Having 2 additional parts to play about with is going to be really, really fun for seeing combos. I can't wait to see what Takara is cooking with this. I know a lot of people feel a wee bit with it at the moment because of the fact that it doesn't seem to be performing too well, but I think that they've done this on purpose to try and just kind of stagger the impact of these guys, to make them not come out and just be like so good that we've only got 3 good Beyblades in the metagame. I think they will definitely listen and follow feedback and definitely maybe put some heavier parts or make the blades heavier, so that even though the nature of them being so top heavy like curbs their stamina, I think that might be the right thing that they need to do. They maybe not spin as long, but they might hit harder. But the artwork on the gear chip is the first thing I'm going to talk about, and oh my gosh, I just love it so much. I love that it pays homage to Dran's sword's first gear chip art. It just looks so cool. It's like just the extra flames in the kind of X form. It's just so nice. The blade itself is very much a homage to Dran's sword's original shape, and it's just amazing. Except it looks almost a little bit more like Valkyrie with how sheer these contacts are. It just like they're so spiky in an upwards fashion. It just really reminds me of Valkyrie. It's like so cool. They're definitely more spaced out than Dran's sword, as you can see, but that's definitely to give the assist blade underneath room to breathe rather, not move. It's fixed still, but room to breathe gives it nice room so you can have these contacts pop out underneath. The other thing I'll say is that I absolutely love the inclusion of these graphics. These, I'm not sure if they're decals or stickers, but they come on the blade when it comes out of the box. They just add that further layer of like sportiness and character to the blade that just makes the blade pop. I must say, the one thing that really stands out with the CX lines is that, in my opinion, they're just like the most gorgeous looking Beyblades out there to date. They just look so good. Like, definitely within Beyblade X anyway. They just look fantastic. So Dran Brave comes with the 660 ratchet, as we mentioned before. A lot of people, myself included, were really quite excited about this ratchet prior to its release. Other people were a wee bit more apprehensive about it, just because we saw in pictures that these were kind of like downward poking protrusions a wee bit, and they always put fear into anyone's heart when it comes to Beyblade. We've seen how like the likes of 2 perform, and 7 can be a wee bit scrapey and bursty because of that, but they're not as bad as that, so that's not too bad. So you can see with the 6 ratchet, you've got one big protrusion, one smaller protrusion, then a big one, and it rotates in this fashion around the outside of the blade. Sorry, the outside of the ratchet. I need to do a bit of testing with this ratchet, see how it performs, but a lot of people are reporting mixed results with it, so we'll need to wait and see. Maybe it needs a little bit of time in the oven to see what its lifespan's like, how it performs long term. Give it a shot. So we'll give it a good shot before we throw it in with the bad ratchets. We have the bit itself, Vortex. This is essentially just the right spin equivalent of Cyclone, which is really exciting to have because Cyclone's already a pretty good bit. Nice to have one that actually is fashioned for right spin, so it looks good. Can't wait to test it out and see how it performs. Attack types are my favourite types in Beyblade, so a new attack type bit is a new pair of shoes for all my Beyblades, so I'm excited to see who this will work well with. We'll now fully assemble Dran Brave and see what he looks like all together. There we are. That's him all together. Fantastic. He looks so cool. One thing I will say is that he's just, the color combination here is absolutely phenomenal. You've got this lovely light blue framed with this lovely white, and then you've got the deep blue here, and then an even deeper blue, and then a lighter blue again. They know how to do their blues, man. That's all I'll say. Like, they're just fantastic. Just such a striking looking Beyblade. I love it so much. And that's not just my dragon bias talking. He looks really cool. So now that we've had a closer look at Dran Brave out the box and had a look at all of its component parts, it's time to move on to the next part where we weigh Dran Brave itself and then disassemble it and weigh all of its component parts to see how they fare against parts that currently exist, because obviously the weight's an important factor when you're building competitive Beyblade combos. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So Dran Brave fully assembled weighs 45.76 grams, which isn't too bad at all. For a reference, we'll weigh him against his three predecessors, Dran Buster, Dran Dagger and Dran Sword. So Dran Buster comes in at 43.93, Dran Dagger comes in at 43.50, and Dran Sword comes in at 43.50. So not too bad at all. Definitely got the beef, but it's the profile that's the factor that seems to let this guy down, but that's not the be all and end all. So the blade itself weighs 37.43 grams, which is pretty beefy. The ratchet comes in at 6.14, and the bit weighs 2.16 grams. Now, all the lock chips weigh the same at the moment, or should do anyway, unless you somehow get really lucky and get like the heaviest bit of plastic in the world. So the lock chip itself weighs 1.75 grams. The Brave blade weighs 31.06 grams, and the slash assist weighs 4.69 grams. So not bad all in. So now that we've poked and prodded and inspected and weighed this bad boy, it's time to chuck him in the base stadium and see how he actually performs on his feet. We'll put him up against the two other CX bays first, and then we'll put him up against some standard meta combos that circle around these days. And this will give us a good read on where Dran Brave places in terms of competitive and casual play. Okie doke. First match, Dran Brave 660 Vortex versus Perseus Dark 680 Wedge. Second match, Dran Brave 660 Vortex versus Wizard Arc 455 Lord. Third match, Dran Brave 660 Vortex versus Cobalt Dragoon 560 Elevate. Fourth match, Dran Brave 660 Vortex versus Wizard Rod 960 Bit.
Glad that was on camera.
Yeah, he burst him. Fifth match, Dran Brave 660 Vortex versus Phoenix Wing 360 Laurel. So now that we've thoroughly thrashed him about in the base stadium, what do you guys think of Dran Brave? Are you going to pick him up? Is he worth the hype? Do you like this guy? Are you going to prioritise a different CXB? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I absolutely love this guy. I don't care whether it's low tier or high tier. He's definitely at least one worth having. He's just so striking. If you guys want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe, and if you enjoyed this one, give us a wee like. But be sure to keep checking us out because there'll be more cool Beyblade content on the horizon. See you guys later. Thanks now. Bye.